Yo, what is cool, y'all? We're back, and in today's tutorial I'm going to break down how you can create this crazy grid collage type of effect inside of After Effects, and it's absolutely insane. I saw this in a SSG Kobe music video directed by Darkside, so I'm going to link them down below so you can check them out for yourself if you're interested, because this effect is actually insane. So let's just break it down real quick. As you can see right here, you have the subject sitting right here as the camera pans to the right, and they cut it right there where I assume it's a wall or some kind of door or something like that. So they cut it right there, added some kind of paper rip type of effect and turned it black, and then just stacked a bunch of scenes on top of each other with this overlay type thing stacked over it, and just made it look really clean. Essentially it's just a really wide and long composition that they've just panned to the right, but it's quite difficult to make, so I'm going to go through it step by step for you guys so you can follow along, and let's just get straight into it. So I've got a bunch of different clips right here. As you can see, I've got 6 different ones and a base one that is going to be the start, and the ones that are pre-composed were shorter ones, so I decided to just loop them. Yo, sorry to interrupt, I just wanted to let you guys know that I just dropped my trippy backgrounds preset pack, which includes over 15 different presets with these crazy trippy backgrounds, and it's on my site, and I'm going to give you guys a discount code in the description. So if you're a fellow editor and you're interested, I'd highly recommend that you go and check that out. But onto the tutorial then. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select all of these by pressing the top one and then press the bottom one while holding shift, and create a pre-comp and move all attributes into the new composition. And this comp I'm going to call Collage, and I'm going to change the width to this comp and multiply it by 5. So if I open this composition right here, you can see that it's really wide. So to start off, I'm going to get my base clip, which is going to be the first one that you see. I'm going to put it right here, because essentially I want the camera to start right here and then pan like this to the side and show all of the other clips. Now I might have made my composition a little bit too big, so I'm going to shorten it down by dividing it by 2. Yeah, this should work for my composition. So I'm going to select my first clip, and as you can see right here in the original effect, they kind of multiplied it and made a lot of these. And so what I'm going to do is size this down and rotate it, and then drag on a motion tile. And this effect I'm going to size up on the height. No, I'm going to size it up on the width like this, and I could scale it down a bit more and put the width to 390 and my clip to 17, and then drag it over right here. So I'm going to keep it like that, and I'm going to go back and look at the original, and they've used some assets there to make it look a bit better, but I'm going to add them on as the last thing that I do. And then the next step after this one is to get my second clip and drag it under the last one that I did, and put it like that. Yeah, so right now the camera is going to start off here and then pan over here and then get this clip to play. So next up I'm going to drag on another scene. I'll pick this one, and I'm going to size it down and rotate it by 180 degrees like that, and then I'm going to put it right here. I mean, essentially you can just go crazy and put these clips wherever you want to. You can add more effects onto this type of composition, but I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible just for the sake of this tutorial so you guys can follow through. So after I've added this one, I decided to put it right here, and then I'm going to pick 2 new clips and drag them on, and I'm going to size both of these down to 50 like that, and make both of them visible, and then drag them over right here to the next part. And I want to make these two put them under each other like this. So right now it's going to start off right here and pan to the side all the way here, and then we're going to have these two clips play. I'm also going to add on the assets later on to make the edges look a little bit better. And lastly, I don't have too much space left right here, but I'm going to try something new by making this one visible and sizing it down like this, and put it right here and add a motion tile to it, and then change the output height to make it fill all of that space. And as you can see right now, I have some empty space right here, so I'm going to find one last clip and put it over there. So I got my final clip right here where he dances like Baby Finn.
Punch your buns, I can punch all your buns.
So I've just looped it a bunch of times, and I'm going to size it down and rotate it by -90 degrees, and I'm going to make it fit right here. So I'll just size it up a bit to make it fit. And then I'm also going to add a motion tile to this one, and I'll put width to somewhere around 500 just to make sure that it fits the whole frame. And I think that's it. So what I've got right now is it starts off right here and it plays through all the way, and you have this scene right here. I mean, you can spice it up even more, and then it turns to this clip and you have this here, and then these two that doesn't fit properly, so I'm going to change it. And then these two lastly. Now I have to loop these clips a bunch of times, because you can see if I play it through, some of them are shorter, so they just disappear, and I want this to last for about like at least 5 seconds. So I'm going to loop these clips a bunch of times. So I'll go into all of my pre-compositions and change the duration to 10 seconds, and I'll do it for all of my pre-comps. And now all I really need to do is duplicate my layer, drag it over, and then hit time reverse layer, and then duplicate my layer, drag it over. So if I play right now, it's going to loop. Just like that, and then I'll go into the next composition and do the same thing just to make it loop in a good way. So, and this is just to make it loop in a way that looks smooth. So I mean, if I just decided to duplicate them and not reverse them, you would visibly see the cuts, and when you do it like this, you won't be able to see the cuts as much. So I'm going to do the exact same thing for all of my pre-comps. So I've just now finished looping all of my clips, and right now it looks like this. So my initial thought is that I can spice this up even more before I decide to add on these assets to make the cuts look a little bit better. So these clips right here, I feel like they're a little bit too boring. So what I'm going to do is press P and make a position keyframe. And I'm going to drag it over here to about 2 seconds. And then until the end, go to the end of the clip and drag the position down. So right now, from 2 seconds on, it looks like this, because essentially this is the last clip, so you won't be able to see it until the end. And right now it moves just to give it a little bit more energy, and I'm going to do the exact same thing but for this one. So now I'll be doing the same thing but for the second to last one. I'm going to make a position keyframe around 1 second and then go all the way to the end. And as you can see, the last clip right here, it goes down because I changed the position, and I want this one to go the opposite way, so I'm going to drag it all the way up but still make it fit. If you have to change the motion tile, you can do that by dragging it up or down. So what I have right now looks like this. And I mean, that's cool. So what I'm going to do now is actually try to create a title like they did right here. But I want something that kind of fits this collage type of effect. So I'll probably make a title right here using this clip. So I'll go into the pre-comp right here, and I'll actually be using one of my packs to make this one. So I'll make a title right here using my magazine pack, and that has over 210 different PNG files that you can choose while making title cards. And I won't go too much into how you make this kind of title card, but I have other tutorials that shows, so if you're interested you can go check that out. So I'll just make a quick title card right here using my pack, and if you're interested you can go and copy it. I'll link it in the description, but I'll see you guys after I finish the title card. So I just finished the title, nothing too crazy, it's just a simple. So I just finished the title, it is nothing too crazy, it is just a simple magazine title, but I have a tutorial on that if you want to go and check it out. But let's keep going. So right now it looks like this. If we go through it real quick, it looks like that. So now the next step is to add these kind of paper rips that you can see that they've used right here, and they've used it throughout the whole scene. So you can simply just head to Google and search up paper rip overlay. So here I've got this paper rip overlay, so I'll just mask it out real quick using the pen tool to get this part isolated. And then I'm going to make it try and fit to this part right here. And you can see that it's really thick right now, so I'll unlink the scale and then drag down the width of it right there to make it a little bit thinner, and rotate it so that it fits. And yeah, I'll keep it like this, and I changed the blending mode to light because the background was black. So now I've got this paper rip effect in here, and I'm going to duplicate it and drag it over here too, and drag it down, make it fit properly. So now I'm going to add the same effect but to this one. So I'll be duplicating this and dragging it over, and let's scale this down to make it fit and rotate it. Just play with the rotation to make it fit your clip, and I'm going to drag it over here and size it down a bit more, but on the height only, and then drag it over right there, and then duplicate it, rotate it again, and I'm going to put it right there like that, and I can make it a bit fatter too, and then a bit shorter. And just like that, I've added another paper rip overlay, so I'm going to duplicate this one too and rotate it by 180 degrees, and then let's just drag it all the way down right there, and duplicate this one and drag it over to this side and rotate it by minus, I don't even know, let's just rotate it and make it fit. Yeah, right there, plus 88. And now I'll duplicate this paper layer overlay again and drag it over here and make it straight by changing the rotation to 90, and I'll size this down just to make it fit half the clip right there, and duplicate it and then change the rotation to minus 90 degrees and then drag it all the way up. And now I want to make one that goes over there and behind this one. So you can use different paper rip overlays if you want to, just to give it some variation. But for the sake of this tutorial, to make it as simple as possible, I'll just be using the same one. And I'll drag it down right there and put it right here, so it goes behind this one. and that's good. And now I just have to add one last one that goes between there. Essentially I can just duplicate these two and drag it over like that, and duplicate them again and drag them over here, and then put them under this layer right there. So I'm happy with how it looks right now, and now I'm just going to pan a position to make it go like this throughout the clip when it's playing, and I think it'll look pretty good. Now to make this pan effect, I will be going over to the first scene right here, and you can use a null and a camera if you want to, but I think this is a really simple pan move, so I don't think it's necessary. So I'll grab my anchor point right here by pressing Y and drag it over here, and then I will be zooming in just to make sure that this one isn't visible in the beginning. And then I'll be making a scale keyframe and a position keyframe, and then go to the end of your clip right here, and then it should have moved all the way through by then. And put the scale down like that. So after just keyframing the position and making a small scale keyframe, I have something that looks like this. And that's smooth. If you want to make it a bit shorter, you can go to your collage and change the duration to something around 10 seconds and just drag it out. But then you'd have to duplicate your clips and make them longer. It doesn't take too long, but you can do it if you want to. But my final product looks like this.
I can tell you I'm not ready. Niggas, they be switching up, you gotta look